All right, today we're going to do something a little different. We are cracking open a time capsule. We managed to get our hands on the April 1990 issue of VideoGames and Computer Entertainment magazine, and we're going to see what the gaming world was actually like in this super important moment in time. And let me tell you, the tone was, well, it was something else. And bam, right away, you see the language in these ads was just dialed up to 11. This wasn't just about having fun. No, it was about these intense, gut-punch experiences, even on a little tiny black and green screen. Everything was a massive adventure. And it wasn't just about getting your heart pounding, it was about pure power. The marketing was completely obsessed with the idea of pushing technology to its absolute limit, promising you graphics and sound that would, and I quote, blow your TV away. It was like they were promising a whole new reality, right there in your family's living room. I mean, this just nails the whole vibe of the era, doesn't it? It's all about epic fantasy, heroic action, and this incredible feeling of empowerment. You weren't just some kid holding a controller, you were a warrior, a hero, about to unleash some kind of mystical power. Okay, so that's the hype, right? But what was really going on behind the scenes? What were people actually playing, and what were they arguing about? Let's flip past the crazy ads and find out. And we're gonna start with the undisputed king of the castle. Look, back in 1990, the word video games meant one thing, one name, Nintendo. And this issue gives us this incredible peek behind the curtain at just how total their control really was. Now, this little news blurb, it looks kind of boring, right? But this is actually a bombshell. See, for years, Nintendo had this allocation system where they decided exactly how many game cartridges other companies could make, blaming a chip shortage. This meant Nintendo could basically starve a rival or reward a friend. So the fact that they could just turn the supply back on with a single announcement, it just shows the absolute iron-fisted control they had over the entire market. And you might think the NES was getting a little old by then, but nope, the 8-bit kingdom was still thriving. This issue was reviewing some seriously deep, high-quality games. You've got sprawling adventures, fast-paced arcade racers, surprisingly detailed sports games, and epic fantasy quests. The NES was still where it was at.
But even as Nintendo was sitting comfortably on its 8-bit throne, a new war was brewing. The 16-bit revolution had arrived, and the first shots were officially being fired.
So, the Inside Gaming column in this magazine, it's basically the primordial ooze of the 90s console wars. You can see the playground arguments forming in real time. The Sega Genesis is getting props for its arcade-quality power, while the TurboGrafx-16 is already getting heat for not being a true 16-bit system. And yeah, they were even arguing about which console came with a better free game. Sound familiar? But hey, it wasn't all just trash talk. The new systems were actually delivering the goods. This review for Bonk's Adventure shows that these new challengers were putting out games that were a massive leap forward. The reviewer calls it terrific and is just gushing about the animation and especially the wonderful music. The revolution was definitely real. Okay, so the console war was kicking off, for sure. But the gaming world in 1990 was so much bigger than just Nintendo versus Sega. This one magazine shows a whole ecosystem of trends that were just starting to take shape. And let's not forget about the other big war happening on the computer front. The magazine pits the Amiga with its amazing state-of-the-art graphics and super sound against the clunky but really popular IBM PC, which, still had bleeps and bloops for audio and required these elaborate installation procedures just to get a game to work. And get this, the magazine has a huge feature all about sequels. This is the exact moment the industry started to figure out, hey, you know what? People love these worlds. Why start from scratch when we can just give them more of what they already love? The franchise model was born. And of course, where there are big franchises, Hollywood isn't far behind. Mainstream culture was just crashing into the gaming scene. You had the biggest pop star on the planet, Michael Jackson, with his own game. You had blockbuster movies like Indiana Jones getting turned into games. Even hit TV game shows were making the jump. The lines were getting really blurry. But honestly, maybe the most fascinating part of this whole magazine is seeing who it was for. In their own words, they wanted to be the best magazine for the hardcore game player. This wasn't just a hobby anymore. A whole new identity was being forged. And being a hardcore gamer meant knowing about secrets. Central to this whole new culture was the idea of the Easter egg.
It wasn't just about beating the game anymore. It was about mastering it, about finding the hidden stuff that developers put in just for the most dedicated players to find. So how did you find out about these secrets? There's no YouTube, no internet forums. You found out through this. The magazine literally paid its readers $10 to mail in their secrets. They created a pre-internet community, a network of shared knowledge connecting players from all over. It's incredible.
And then you get to this page, and right there, submitted by a player named Justin Lee from Quebec, Canada, is one of the most famous secrets in the history of gaming, the iconic Konami code. Now, it wasn't for Contra in this case, but for a version of Tetris. Still, it's a legendary piece of gaming history, shared from one player to the entire community. So as we close the cover on this thing, it becomes pretty clear. This wasn't just a snapshot of the past. It was a remarkably accurate preview of the future of gaming. I mean, think about it. The fierce loyalty of the console wars? Check. The endless cycle of sequels and big franchises? Yup, it's in there. The billion-dollar mashup of gaming and Hollywood? Absolutely. And a passionate, connected community obsessed with secrets and mastering their favorite games? All of the pillars of modern gaming are visible right here, in April 1990. The technology has changed so much, it's almost unrecognizable, but the core ideas, the competition, the stories, the community, it was all set in motion decades ago. So here's a question for you. Which of these trends from way back in 1990 has had the biggest impact on the games you're playing right now?